unfortunately, that you see a secure environment that's unable to secure itself from the infusion of drugs, and that's not acceptable. It's not acceptable in the population that we see our children and our family members dying of drug overdoses or addicted. It's not acceptable that in an environment where we're responsible to care and custody of inmates, that we have folks that die on our watch. That doesn't mean that we're always responsible for it, but I have always tried to lead by example, that we own the responsibility for everyone that we care for. Some of the mitigating efforts, 2022, there were 282 incident reports for narcotics in the jails, meaning seizures of some sort. 158 incoming inmate postcards were intercepted in the mailroom by staff that tested positive for being soaked in fentanyl and or methamphetamine. And since October of 2022, 1,503 detention officers, sergeants, and lieutenants were trained to deploy Narcan. I don't have the number right in front of me how many lives have been saved or potentially saved because of distribution of Narcan in our jails, but it is an extremely large number. So as a sheriff, I have to make some difficult decisions, and the decision that I'm making today, and I don't want to say that it's difficult, it's just uncomfortable for some, not for me. I can't exist as the head of an office knowing that we aren't doing everything reasonable and humanly possible to ensure that drugs aren't coming into our jails. I have spoken to my colleagues over at the county. This conversation's been going on for a little while, but I'm at a stage now where I think it's not only important but appropriate that we purchase scanning machines so that every individual who enters our jail, whether it be staff, volunteers, anybody and everyone who enters into the secured population, will be checked to determine if we can mitigate and intercept any potential contraband coming into the jail. That's a pretty significant step, and you know, the biggest challenge in it is a lot of employees will feel like this is a trust issue, that I'm questioning whether they can be trusted. That is not at all the case, but we live in a society where humans are flawed and failed, and we see good people do bad things, and bad things happen. And if we truly want to be a drug-free, safe jail system, we have to take every step possible, and that means demanding that our employees become comfortable with the idea that we should be checking them as they enter too, as well as everyone else. So we are looking at, and these dollars will come from cost savings already in my budget, but I put together a working group who will be determining what are the most effective and safe scanning devices when it comes to the equipment itself. How will we staff these, not from our existing detention officers, but who will we hire to monitor and manage these? How can we make them efficient, effective, so that we're not holding employees up from getting in the jail? And we will, in short order, be implementing and moving forward in doing just that. I can't tell you the timeline because we have to look and determine a lot of factors first, but I will tell you it will be a number one priority. So what led me in front of you today, it isn't what I'm about to talk about because there's a lot of factors, but this is absolutely, I'll say, the tipping point for me. Not less than 10 minutes ago, we arrested a detention officer. This was an ongoing investigation. This detention officer, who was hired in October of 2019, recently worked with inmates and some folks on the outside and attempted to bring fentanyl and methamphetamine into the jail. We know through the evidence in the investigation, we have strong reason to believe this was his first attempt. Exceptional work by our investigators put them in a position to intercept him before he brought the drugs into the jail. The drugs have been tested positive for both methamphetamine and fentanyl. The estimated pill count is probably close to about 100 pills. I am extremely thankful that our MCSO team moved to stop this from happening and did such an exceptional job with the investigation. I will tell you, it's ongoing. There are other tentacles to it and aspects that we are going to be committed to driving inward and outward.
Okay, the Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone, they're announcing that they have arrested that individual, a detention officer at one of the Maricopa County jails for bringing in meth and fentanyl, upwards of 100 pills. They said they had been tracking this officer for some time.
Live breaking news.
And that the drugs never
today, January 11th.
One in the jail,
2023.
The inmates there. So we'll see. Maybe we can speak to some of our Fox 10 Phoenix reporters about this a little later as they are facing that there. In the meantime, let's move on to some of these other top stories.